Hello, 5th grade. We're on Domain 9, Chemical Matter, Lesson 2, Scientific Stories. Our objectives are to compare and contrast the presentation of scientific content in two different texts. We're going to present factual information in a narrative form, understand how expanded sentences are formed, understand how to use the suffix ment, and apply our understanding of literary and informational details to analyze a new text. Some key vocabulary for today's lesson: convey is to communicate, adapt is to modify to be suitable for a new purpose, perfect is to make perfect, analysis is careful examination or study of something, a gesture is a movement, usually the hand or head, to express meaning or point to something, can also be a verb, embed is fixed deeply into the surrounding mass, plateau is an area of high level, no slope ground, technique is a way of doing something usually with some skill, and devour is to eat fast and hungrily. Today's reading is an independent reading chapter. So now we're going to compare and contrast text. Would the Badlands Sleuth, which is our reader that we're going to read, be considered an informational or a literary text? Remember, informational texts present information in a factual way. They use clear headings and subtitles and have a lot of use of diagrams and images. A literary text includes continuous prose, fictional characters. They use descriptive language with setting, narrative plot, and they usually don't have a lot of diagrams and charts. It's a trick question. It's actually both. So there is no right answer to this one. This text combines elements of informational and literary text. Because you have studied literary and informational text all year, you're able to read and analyze a text that has both of these elements. Writing does not always have to have clear rules, so that as long as it achieves its purpose. So this one has literary aspects to it while also presenting it in an informational way. So we're going to explore how to adapt sentences to make your meaning clearer. You're going to be looking at 3 different methods for adapting. So there are no methods you can perfect. Professional writers are always working on making their sentences more effective, and there's always a huge range of styles. We can expand, reduce, or combine. Writers often think of following when they're constructing: what is the purpose of my writing, and what do I want the readers to feel and understand? So when we're expanding sentences, this is an example. The Badlands of eastern Montana are hot. That is our basic sentence. The Badlands of eastern Montana shimmered in the heat under a pale, cloudless sky. We are expanding on a basic sentence. We've added a lot more detail to make it stand out more. So they add more of an imagery or visualization of the scene. Instead of just saying it's hot, we can feel it a little bit more of the setting. The suffix ment. So suffixes are letters that change the meaning of a root word when they're added to the end of a word. So the suffix ment is in the state of being. So amazement, excitement, achievement, and disagreement. So your assessment is to rewrite the geology content in the narrative form of the Badlands Sleuth. So what I'm talking about is this. This is our geology text that we had mentioned before. You're going to read this independently, and you're going to write it as if it's a narrative or a story, just like our reader that we've been reading for our text for this time. So your task is to read this and rewrite it as if you're telling it in a story form. That is the end of today's lesson. We will see everyone in lesson 3.